What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about the Bitcoin bull today, TBB. It is the 19th day of July. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Here we are at 1.35 cents. It's funny how quickly standards develop, right? It's funny because 2 days ago on the 17th, we were ecstatic to be at these prices. I'm still pretty ecstatic to be here, if I'm being honest. But whenever you're at a price as high as like 1.52 cents, you get back down here to 1.2 cents. You're like, I'm, this is below me. This is beneath me. I'm too good for this. It's just funny how the I don't know how else to make sense out of that. I don't know. It's just funny. We're like literally a day before that, we would have been ecstatic to be here. Anyways, here we are, and I am genuinely ecstatic to be here at 1.35 cents at a $13.5 million market cap. Volumes coming in as we're moving up. We actually we look at this here from a low to a high, and we did bounce right off of our 382 area. Bounced right off of that. Now we're above the 236. The way that typically, not this is not always, it's not guaranteed, and especially with low market cap and meme coins. Fibonacci TA is not always 100% accurate, but this thing does respect the fibs for the most part, it seems. We've definitely shown some significance around very key fibs. The idea, typically, is that if you find support at the 382 and then you close above the 236, the idea is, well, you're probably going to go above this high. Now, if we go from this area back down to the 382, the idea would be, well, we probably do go to the golden ratio. Now, we could close above the 236 and still come back down to the 382. We could go below the 382 and not go to the golden ratio. Go to the golden ratio. Nothing needs to happen the way that I've said that it will. I'm just saying, typically in this situation, you would expect. I mean, if we close, 21 minutes left. If we close here on this 1 hour time frame above the 236, above 1.314 cents, which I think we stand a chance to do, that ups the possibility, the probability that we go to new all-time highs. And then on the 4 hour time frame as well, we got 21 minutes left, so that just adds to the potential there. And yes, it is possible. It is possible that we could be seeing some type of head and shoulders pattern. It is possible. I just don't think so. Head and shoulders patterns are typically uniform, right? Like you got your left shoulder here, you've got your head, you've got your right shoulder, and maybe the head looks different, maybe the shoulder looks different, but the shoulders are typically uniform in size. This shoulder here, if this is the left shoulder, what is it? Is it this part? Is it this whole thing? If it's the whole, hold on. My toddler is funny. Let's just leave it at that. Anyways, the shoulder, they just don't look that, they're lopsided, man. They're very it doesn't make sense no matter how you try to cut it. So the volume profile kind of checks out, but I don't know if I'd call this a head and shoulders pattern. Really, I think we're just pulling back, we're finding support, and we're ready to move higher. Really, we look at this here on the 1 hour time frame, and the RSI cooled way the hell off. I mean, think about it. Where we were all the way down here on the RSI at these low points, we barely moved down, and look at how much we cooled off on the RSI. Typically, whenever we're at these low points, we move up. Here, that was where we were right before we kicked this move off. Here, we were at the low points of this consolidation range. We pumped like 100% in a very short amount of time. Here, we were at the low ends of this consolidation range, and then we kicked off this move. That was like 1,300% growth, like from a low here to a high. From a low here to a high, we saw phenomenal growth as well. So just typically in this area, this does promote growth, and it's not necessarily the bounce here that promotes the growth. It's the getting into the overbought zone, right? It's getting into that overbought zone that really promotes the growth. So if you notice, we can actually go back and do this again. Maybe I should have done this in tandem, but we're just going to do it this way. Whenever you bounced here, did you rip immediately? No, you moved up and then you moved back down. It was once you got overbought, that's when this move came to life, right? Here, whenever you bounce, did you get overbought? No. Did you get overbought? No. Did you get overbought? No. Once you did get overbought, that's when you saw new all-time highs. Once you did get overbought here, that's when this move started to come alive, right? And you moved up. You know, you bounced off of this, you were moving up, higher lows, higher highs, whatever, but you really came to life. The meat of the move came in once you got overbought. So we're moving up now, which is nice. We're up 7% on this hour. But when we get overbought, we should see it's a relative strength index, the relative RSI, relative strength index. You get overbought, you're showing relative strength. And again, I've said this at length over the years that I've had my channel. I think the idea of calling this the overbought zone and the oversold zone, it's misleading because it makes you think, oh, it's overbought, it's time to sell. Oh, it's oversold, it's time to buy. It's not that simple. Really what this is bullish strength, bullish exhibition of strength, bearish exhibition of strength, right? Like this is the strong area. You want to be overbought. You say overbought and it makes you think you don't want that because then you have to cool off. There's certain truths to that, but for the most part, when we got overbought here, this was the beginning of a move that took us phenomenally higher. I mean, from a low here to a high there, we moved up 84% overall. If you sold right when we got overbought, even at the highest point, you missed more than half that move. You know what I mean? And you're probably not going to sell the highest point. Anyways, looking good on the RSI, all that to say. MACD, scooping the zero, coming down to bounce, right? When I say scooping the zero, I mean the oscillators here coming down. Here's the zero level right there, right where the histogram, the green and the red kind of meet right there. So you're coming down and it is literally bouncing right off the zero, scooping it up, and that's beautiful. We saw a very deep red histogram, a very deep maneuver. You've cooled off on your RSI and your MACD. And you look ready to go, man. Volume's coming in as we're moving up. Love to see it. Now, if we do come back down, it's not the end of the world. We've got a lot of room to work with. We do have substantial support at this $10 million 1 cent area. Psychological support and then just on the price itself. It looks great. I want to look at the 4-hour stuff. We're going to get into the daily time frame and then go from there. The 4-hour RSI looks phenomenally bullish, guys. Again, it's the relative strength index. So imagine you're doing nothing, right? You're just being boring, moving sideways, you do nothing. When you show overbought readings, when you show bullish strength, relative to that, you're not going to get a crazy move, right? It's just relative to what you've seen recently. It's the relative strength index. It's going off what we have here. Now, you've gotten overbought recently with this. You've come down a little bit. If we come back into the overbought zone, and even if we see like a higher reading rank here, the idea would be in line with that we see a larger move. We probably see, it wouldn't be another 80% move. It'd probably be a larger move than 80%. That'd be my guess. Because it's the relative strength index, right? It's just because you get a higher high in the RSI doesn't necessarily mean you get a higher high in the price. But being overbought like this and then coming back into the overbought zone, the more that you do this, the stronger the moves get. Even if you stay at the same level, the stronger the moves will get. That's just how it works, typically. This 4-hour RSI looks phenomenal. This is exactly what you want. This is not bearish divergence, no. Anybody who says, oh, but look, lower high here, it's not bearish divergence. That we've already disproven that. I can go over it real quick for you if you want. Here, you know, at this high, you're coming down. Guess what? You had a lower high here, a lower high here, a lower high here, and that was in tandem with these lower highs. And then you start to move up, you're getting higher highs in your RSI in tandem with these higher highs here. You got a higher high here. If this was bearish divergence between these 2 points, you should have gone below this point here, but you didn't. If this was bearish divergence between these points, you should go back down to this level, or even back down at least to this level, but you didn't, and you probably don't. If you do go down here, you find support, great. That's good structurally speaking, but I mean, we're moving up. We're in a very bullish, we're in a structure of our own right now, man. And let's see, bouncing off the 60 after getting overbought like this, I wouldn't be surprised if two things happen. One, people think that we're getting bearish divergence now and they're wrong, and then two, we'll keep pumping. It'll look like bearish divergence here. People will think there's going to be bearish divergence there, and then they're also going to be wrong because we're just going to keep pumping through. We're going to get rid of that bearish divergence. I'm calling it right now, 4-hour RSI, we're going to see higher highs. We're going to see higher highs. This is a bullish setup whenever you get overbought and you bounce off the 60, okay? And in fact, we haven't done that. We haven't done that at all. We haven't gotten overbought and bounced off the 60. We're doing it here. This might be the most bullish setup that we've seen, at least, you know, since we've been in this area of about 003, about 3 million and higher, right? Like the moves that we've had have been nice. Oh, they've been so nice. Let's not get it twisted at all. From a low to a high here, you saw 112% move in a very short amount of time. From a low to a high here, you saw a 3x. I say you, we saw this. Low to high here, 58%. Low to high here, we had an 88% move. Those are all great moves. But man, in the early days, even on this pivot, we saw 174%, let alone this whole overall move was like almost a 9x. This low to high here was like a 13x. Crazy stuff. What I'm trying to get at is with this setup on the RSI, I think we're about to see a move overall that is more bullish than anything we've seen since the 8th of July. So long as we don't get bearish divergence, so long as volume comes through, so long as we continue to pump. That's my thoughts there. And again, it doesn't have to be right now. If we find resistance here, if some of my analysis is off, we come back down. This setup still exists. This RSI, maybe you don't bounce off the 60, maybe you come down and bounce off the 50, whatever. Getting overbought consistently is good for price growth. That's all I'm trying to say there. MACD starting to build bearish or bullish momentum again, right? Going from green to killing off the momentum, getting the pale green, and then now you're building bullish momentum again. I mean, each time we've done this, we've gotten deep green, and then we die off until we're red. Deep green, then we die off until we're red. Here, we're actually building it back. We haven't seen that before. Again, another kind of first in this bullish dynamic. We look more bullish here, guys, right now, and we're very close to new all-time highs, so it's easy to say, but we look more bullish here than we have really since the 7th of July. And I'm not saying we're going to go on a 13x move. Maybe we do. I'm not saying that we go on an 8x, 9x move. Maybe we do. What I am saying is the largest move throughout this range was like a 3x. I suspect we're going to see a bigger move than that. That's all I'm saying. We're showing stronger readings, relatively speaking. We're going to see a stronger move, relatively speaking. Does that make sense? Hold on. I'm almost done, okay? It's my little 4-year-old. She's great. Daily time frame. Daily time frame here. Actually, let's look at the 12-hour. This is what I want to finish off with, okay? Because we have been respecting the fibs. Let's take this high. Maybe I should look at the 4-hour, actually. Take this high to the low, okay? And you can see here, you found resistance to the golden ratio. You found resistance to the 382, support at the 236, resistance to the golden ratio, support at the 0.5, resistance here. You're doing, and then finding support at the golden ratio. You're doing all the right things, showing significance right at the 1272, support at the 1272. From a Fibonacci perspective, this thing is clean, guys. And you consolidated so long at this 1618. I've been saying this for the past couple of days. It's not that you can't stop here. It's not that this couldn't be the all-time high we dumped down. I just know that nobody in the community wants to sell here. No, nobody. You want them cheaper? Yeah, you're gonna have to like force hack somebody and make them sell, right? Like nobody wants to sell here. The only people who sold here, look at how low the volume is. The only people who sold here are probably people who bought up here or people who got in late and they're just taking small profits. You know what I mean? I've actually looked at some of the wallets that sold here and man, actually some of them have been holding since like before this pump here, but they traded throughout this range and they walked away with like less than 50% gains. It's like if you just held throughout this, I mean, what would happen? Even if you bought the highs, even from the highs to the lowest price, you should have had 80% gains and people were settling for like less than 50% gains. Just whatever. Know what you hold, man, and just keep holding it. This coin has tremendous potential. You guys, after all the spaces yesterday, and just listening to some of these things that I wasn't aware of before, whenever it comes to this coin, when it comes to Jason Williams, when it comes to this community, I genuinely believe this thing has multi-$100 million market cap potential. I genuinely do. Like and I've always thought that we could see that. I've definitely believed in the over $100 million, but I mean, if Ansem were to go to $5 billion, this thing could go to $1 billion market cap. Like that's even a possibility, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to consider something that's worth $13 million going to $1 billion. But hey, it's genuinely possible. From yesterday's information gathering, my an internal percentage chance, the probability chance for this thing going to multi-$100 million market cap or even $1 billion market cap. It's only grown. It's only grown. Shout out to anybody in the C-Zar Gets Crypto community who bought down here. I wasn't aware. I've been, over the past few days, a lot of you have been coming out of the woodwork saying that you bought here below a $500,000 market cap alongside with me, right? Like you bought in this range. And I was unaware of how many, like, I've just heard some people, I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't want to like blow smoke. I don't want to butter my own bread. I hate doing that. But I've heard people in the TBB community talking about how we've got solid holders. You know, people who aren't just full clipping, selling their bags. Like we actually have dedicated holders who are, and dormant wallets too. We have wallets that since this time have not sold a drop, or if they have, they've sold like very small amounts, but like just dedicated holders, people who've even bought more since that time. And that's unique. That's rare, especially considering the gains that we've seen so far. And that's the type of foundation. There's a reason why they say diamond hands, right? Strong hands. You know why Bitcoin went ballistic in its early years? It's because people bought it and held it and didn't sell it. That's because like the supply that was circulating out there, you had dedicated holders who just didn't sell. Some people did. They took profits, whatever. We got massive swings, but you continue to grow at such a crazy rate. Now it's at a higher market cap level. You've got people of all walks of life at all time frames getting in and getting out. It's a little bit different, but the whole point being that we have a solid foundation because of the holder basis. And I'm just giving a special shout out to the C-Zar Gets Crypto community because, you know, I gave shout outs on X. I gave shout outs on Discord. I made YouTube videos about this thing in the early days. You guys took the chance with me. And I don't think we're 100% the reason why there's a solid foundation of holders. But we're at least part of that. And that's pretty special. I think that's pretty. I was unaware of how many people from my own community bought in down there. So that's pretty cool, guys. We're all ride or die together. I love it. Even in the bad times, even in the bear markets, we're ride or die. I love it. And the TBB community, man, it's just a special. I love that people from my community have integrated into the TBB community and vice versa. It's great. It's great to see, guys. I love it. Anyways. It's a lot of fun. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting all sentimental here. And again, I'm not trying to butter my own bread. I'm more trying to butter the bread of my community members. But and another thing too on that note, for anybody who's new and doesn't know anything about me, I don't charge money for anything. I never have. I don't think I will at any point in time. I mean, if I ever charge money for something, it'll be because I actually think it's worth your time. And I don't think a paid group from me, I don't think I have the time to make it worth your time. I don't think I have the resources to make it worth your time. So I'm not going to get a paid group just to get money and text you on the weekends late at night. No, that's not what's going to happen, right? You can just ask me your thoughts, and if I have time, I'll respond to them on X, on YouTube, whatever, you know, in the comments on Discord. But I'm not always available because, again, even if I was getting paid, I don't think it'd be worth my time, and I don't think it'd be worth your time as a result, right? It's just personally. So I don't sell things. If I were to sell things, maybe merchandise or something like that. I've thought of making merchandise. I'm just, you know, slacking on that. But I don't sell things. So if any C-Zar is reaching out asking you for money, asking you to buy something, asking you to pay for his course, asking you to be a part of this secret group, whatever, you know it's not C-Zar, because I will never ask you for money, ever. Even if I actually end up selling things at some point, I'm not going to ask you for money. Right? A lot of people just heavily hit that salesman side of things. The things that I'll ask you to do is be open-minded, look for opportunities, and take your money and grow money. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to take your money. I've got my own money. I can make my own money. I've been in crypto since 2015. So I don't need your money, right? And that's the kind of standard that I think this space needs, and I want to be a part of that standard. So if you're ever talking to a C-Zar, because there's so many fake C-Zars out there, and they're asking you for money, you know it's not me by default. If they're asking you for access to your wallets or to pay for a specific group or anything like that, whatever, let me help you trade, bro, blah, blah, blah. That's another thing. I don't want to handle your money. I don't want to handle your funds. I don't care to do that. It's stressful enough handling my funds. I have family members. I have friends, dear friends who I've known for my whole life who have asked me to handle their money for them to get into crypto because they've seen how my own success reflects in crypto. And I tell them no. I tell them I don't. I'm like, I can show you how to do it. I can, we can get you into some little things, but that's just I'm talking about myself because I want you to know who I am so that you're better guarded against scammers. Some of you are new to the community, and I'm grateful for that. And with that, let's move on. Anyways, 1.385 cents is such a long detour. I didn't mean to go that far off there. When you consolidate like this at the golden ratio, right? This is the primary target zone. This is, in my 11 years of analysis, I've identified that the 1272 to the 1618, it's like your primary target zone. We can go into more details on that some other time. I've already done that over the last couple of days. When you break above the golden ratio, you're no longer in the primary target zone. Now you're entering the secondary target zone, which is here, the 1886 to the 2618. And the secondary target zone, it's not that you're going to hit this and then you're going to go down, then you're done. Maybe. It's not that you're going to rip all the way up here because this is the minimum, this is the maximum, it's only those two options. No, it's really, you can land anywhere in this range. Yeah, like you could land right here in the middle of these lines and it doesn't make sense. Maybe you wick up here, but then you close down here. Maybe you wick above the 2272, but you close above, and that's actually pretty common with the 2272. You could even wick above the golden ratio and close below it, but just typically you find resistance in these areas, okay? We consolidated at the 1618 for so long. My suspicion is, and then especially with these more bullish metrics coming to these indicators that we're looking at, my suspicion is with this whole next zone being our interaction sandbox playground area, I don't think we're going to stop, or if we do stop, not for long, at this lower end of this range. With everything that I was hearing on the spaces yesterday, with everything that I've come to learn about this project and the people who are pushing this project, I think we are still, even here at $13 million in market cap, $14 million in market cap, we're still early, like really early, guys. Imagine this thing goes to a multi-$100 million market cap. Imagine it goes to $1 billion market cap. We're still early, very, very early, man. And yeah, it's not the same as buying it below $1 million. I get it, but it's still early. That'd be like saying, oh, I'm late to Bitcoin and you're buying at $10,000. Well, yeah, you didn't get to buy it at 10 cents. It's not even that same comparison. It's like buying Bitcoin at $1,000. Well, yeah, you didn't get to buy it at 10 cents or $100, but you're not late getting it at $1,000. You're not late getting it even at $10,000. You're still early. You're not late getting it even here, man. 64.5K. You're still early. Most of the world doesn't hold Bitcoin. You're still early. Anyways, TBB, taking the world by storm. Minimum target in this next target area, I don't think we stop there, which means that I would at least expect, before we see another kind of a longer consolidation phase, maybe even longer than anything we've seen so far, something that's a little bit more volatile, whatever, before we see any kind of a next prolonged consolidation phase, I assume we're going to see a 51 to $126 million market cap, somewhere in that range. With the 2272, you typically do wick just above it. Typically, and these fibs, they all have different rules. These are rules that I've identified myself over the last 11 years doing analysis. The Fibonacci retracement and extensions are my bread and butter in my analysis. With the 2272, you typically don't see this reaction. It can happen, but typically that's not the reaction you see. Typically, you actually wick through the 2272 and then close below it. Anything can happen. You could find resistance just below it in the area that doesn't make sense at all, but that happens too. But again, it's more common to wick just above. So let's imagine that we do stop here. Okay, somewhere at like $60 million, at like a 6-cent price. My thought instantly goes to, why don't we just complete the thought and go up to 100 million? Why don't we just go to 10 million, or 100 million, that 10-cent price, that psychological attraction magnetic zone there, the 2618 itself. We spent so much time at the 1618 golden ratio. Might it make sense that we go up here? We complete the prophecy. If we stop here, and again, this is all predicated off the idea that we spent so much time here at the top of this range that when we break out, I don't think we're going to spend much time here at the bottom of this range. Right? This is the whole range that we're dealing with. I don't think we're going to spend much time here. So tying that in to the 2272, we're going to be around like a $60 million market cap. Are we just going to stop there whenever 100 million is so close? Whenever we've seen all these gains, whenever TBB is being put on the map and we're getting community growth building and all this stuff, I don't know. I'm I'm really in this camp of belief where we're going to stop somewhere above 50 million, if not $126 million market cap. And again, maybe you wick a little bit above, maybe you stop below. These are just rough estimates. Even at 126 million, it's a low market cap coin. You showed significance at the golden ratio here for resistance, here for support, here for resistance too. You actually bounced from this low right up here. Here, you've shown a lot of significance at that golden ratio. You showed a lot of significance at this golden ratio. Might we continue the trend? Do we have an affiliation, a love for this golden ratio zone? We'll see. Time will tell. I'm going to vote right now. I'm going to hit the vote button. Oh, I already voted. I might have to refresh. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because the holders didn't go up either. I noticed that. So we've gained a little bit of holders over the last 24 hours. It's kind of interesting. I feel like we gained more holders moving sideways than we have moved up. But we didn't move up too much yet. Wait till we move up a little bit more. There's a lot of people, man. I'm aware. I've been made aware, too, over the past 24 hours how many people want to buy this thing. They weren't sure of it here. We tried, man. I really tried. I really tried my best to get people on. And, you know, some people, we definitely had wallets increase. We had like a 30 to 50% increase in wallets throughout this time from where we started right here. But, man, we tried. You guys know. We were making videos. We were talking about it on X. People were doubting. People were fading, throwing shade, all this stuff. Hating, man. I'm surprised at how much hate we've gotten since we moved up. But I'm just talking at this point. All I'm trying to say is I wasn't aware. I was theorizing here how many people wanted to get in. But now I'm fully aware. There are people I've talked to some people. There are a lot of people who actually do want to buy this coin, and they're hoping it drops lower. You know, and that was kind of the hope here. That was the hope here. But enough's enough at some point, man. You just got to get in. And I mean, imagine here figuring out that you've got the potential to go above $50 million in market cap at a minimum. That's kind of my expectation. That's a 3x. And with how fast this thing can move, it could be tomorrow. We're up there. 3x, 4x from here. Oh no, it's not a 50x. It's not a 100x. Boo-hoo. But it's a 3x. Most people in crypto, they haven't seen a 3x since the good days, like over a year ago. Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe. And by the way, again, that's the minimum. That's the minimum expectation, right? If we go all the way up to 120 million, that's a 9x move. If we go through, if we exceed my expectations, and maybe we consolidate there for a little bit, and then we see a multi-$100 million market cap, that's a 15x move. We go to $1 billion. If Ansem can see a $5 billion market cap, I truly believe that this thing could see prices above $1. If we do that, that's a 75x move from here. You are not late to the game by any means. And the community, the conviction, the dedication that this coin has from a fundamental base layer and throughout this whole time, we got the gas, guys. We got the moves. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm talking too much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.